Here is a 2024 Volvo XC60 B5 all-wheel drive Ultimate in dark theme. For 2024, we now have dark theme across all the trims, but they only have two tiers, either the B5 or the Recharge. So it's night and day in difference in performance because we no longer have a B6. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides, and over 8 inches of clearance is going to be standard on all of the XC60s. Thor LED headlights and daytime runnings that integrate into the high gloss mesh grille. The lower inserts get the gloss black elements. When you get the dark theme, that's what it's going to do. Highlight all of the trims. So no chrome is going to surround it for the mirror caps, the side windows, the roof rails, and the lower trim on the back. All of which is going to be powered by the same 2.0 liter 4-cylinder turbocharge, producing 247 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque with a 48-volt mild hybrid technology with an electric generator that produces 11 horsepower. That's all paired to an 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission. The nice thing about this is it reaches 60 at 6.5 seconds. And if this is not fast enough, you go to the Recharge and it's 2 seconds quicker with 455 horsepower. Now both trims are going to tow up to 3,500 pounds. So really what you're looking at with the Recharge opposed to this is not just speed, but 35 full electric miles in range. With the B5, you're getting 23 mpgs for the city and 28 mpgs for the highway. So it is something to think about if you're needing a little bit more of the performance, you want full electric range. Charging time for the Recharge will take up to 5 hours on a level 2, and you can make this vehicle look a lot more athletic, which we have these 22-inch 5 double spoke matte black diamond cut alloy wheels. The fenders flared out for the front and the rear and the side rocker, so it looks just as athletic as I would say a BMW X5. It's not going to boast the same speed, and even going into the Recharge, it's still going to be slower than Mercedes, BMW, and Audi. But when you're considering the price and value, when you go to Volvo, options is going to be a lot cheaper because you can upgrade wheels typically between $1,000 and $2,000. Go to BMW, Mercedes, you're talking $3,000. Add a black optic package for Audi, you're over $3 to $4 grand with wheels and the exterior styling. And you will still receive 20-inch wheels. You can option air suspension. The rear gets LED vertical lights, the gloss black elements on the lower. For 2022 and up, they started the hidden exhaust, which because we have the dark theme, I would still like to see exhaust outlets because we have 2 engine variants in which when you go into the Recharge, they do the same thing. But you're getting over 500 pound-feet of torque. Literally night and day of a difference in vehicle when you're comparing the two, but you're still getting all the luxury captured in both. And ticking the box for the Ultimate, you're getting all the plush amenities in the interior from the Scandinavians. Our liftgate going into 23.4 cubic feet of storage. The privacy cover is pretty cool because you can arrange it to cover up this way or the other way. I'm going to simply take it out so you can see the bag holders on both sides. 12-volt charger underneath the floor. It's gonna have a surprise, a spare tire. And you can split fold the rear bench in the back if you're tall like me. At a 40-60 split, increasing cargo to over 63 cubic feet of storage. We need to go inside, start up this B5 so you can hear that exhaust note. Nappa leather and leatherette mixture, heated and ventilated, 16-way power seat adjustment for the front, memory for the front as well. Headroom and legroom. The Ultimate is going to add some features, starting with the tailored dashboard, 360-degree reverse camera with full trajectory, the crystal gear lever, home link, auto-dimming rear view mirror, air purifier, power folding rear headrest, graphics heads-up display, 4-zone climate control, so 2 up front, 2 in the back. Everything will be derived through the 9-inch vertical touchscreen with Apple CarPlay, Google Maps, Google Assist, Google Play Store, but no Android Auto. The steering wheel multi-function, 3-spoke. The gauge cluster is a digital reader that can go through an array of information for the driver, including the trip computer. In the center, you get the wood, and it also boasts onto the dashboard. Unfortunately, it does not go into the door panels. Slides open into a 12-volt, the key fob for the XC60. Storage area for some change, gloss black elements, and there is no pass-through. Open up in here, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket. It's pushed back with a USB port, and it's going to be more sporty. The door and the dash configure into each other, and you get the mesh inlays, laminated front windows, more sporty for the armrest, one touch up and down for all the windows, and a long storage pocket with a large pano moonroof that goes to the back seats. Headroom and legroom storage behind both of the front seats, dual climate control settings, USB ports, cup holders with a large armrest so you can actually utilize both. The door is going to have the air vents on the side pillars, and it's going to have the same materials that's found in the front. It's going to be a little bit more sporty for your arms to rest, and a smaller storage pocket. Sliding to the center, the floor is not completely flat. You'll be sharing some feet space because the rails are not pushed up enough. Butt and shoulder space is not necessarily compromised. It does kind of need another inch or so right here, and it would be a little bit more optimal for somebody my dimensions. But headroom sitting in the center over 6 foot, not going to have an issue. 247 horsepower with 258 pound-feet of torque. Volvo is one of those vehicles that is not just luxurious, but it is performance driven. You're getting a mid 6-second 0 to 60. You need something quicker, you take the recharge and you're getting 4.5 seconds 0 to 60. 523 pound-feet of torque will be added to that variant, in which you're getting over 30 miles pure electric range. So when I'm thinking about package-wise, I'm seeing a lot of value in one thing right off the bat. The example that I'm showing today is literally the base price, or a few $100s more than the base price of a recharge. So that's why I was saying you may want to entertain both just to see, because it is night and day difference of a drive, and it's a plug-in hybrid. As for competition, BMW, Audi, Mercedes, Genesis, it's a lot in this segment. Infiniti, Acura, you can really gauge this vehicle in all of those perimeters because it does touch bases in either their base trim for 0 to 60s, or it gets better MPGs, and they have plush materials inside, especially when you're going to the ultimate trim. The steering is going to be light, so you can move in and out pretty freely. Upgraded wheels. I don't feel any of the imperfections in the road. We got regenerative braking, so that also helps giving us optimal MPGs. We sit up pretty decent with clearance. It doesn't quite feel like over 8 inches of clearance. Optioning air suspension will make it drive a lot more smoother, and that's going to take me to my pros and cons. Starting off with the pros. The Ultimate, you're getting this crystal gear lever, which used to only be implemented in the Recharge or T8s. Tailored dashboard. The exterior now gets standard for the dark theme. We did lose the B6, which had more horsepower and torque, a little bit quicker 0 to 60 numbers, but I'm okay with keeping the B5 as a standard all-wheel drive, because you are getting about 0.2 seconds quicker 0 to 60s than you would with a 2-wheel drive opposed to a 4-wheel drive. And that also opens up the door for standard 3,500 pounds of towing. Going to some cons has to start off with the materials that Volvo uses. They do a good job crafting the vehicle with soft materials where it needs to be, but they only expose it or put it in those areas. So underneath the door handles, it's going to be all plastic material. This whole center, I do like that it's carpet, but it would be more usable if it was a pass-through. Unfortunately, because of the way the drivetrain is, they have to pick it up a little bit. Hence, we have that in the back where it's not a flat floor. 16-way power seat adjustment is pretty good when you're at this price point, because if you're considering Infiniti, you're going to be getting about 12. If you go Acura, it's the same thing. You would have to go up to BMW, Audi, Mercedes in order to get something similar, and in some cases you may not even get that either. Turn radius at a stop point is going to be about right at near 3 lanes. Pretty much every Volvo does that. We're gonna stop right here so you can see the performance out of the B5. You get a little bit of that kick or spit that comes in towards the end, which I appreciate that because it's not just a mild hybrid technology, it's also a turbocharged 4-cylinder. It does sound a bit drone-like, but it's not to the point where I don't want to hear it. And going up as a higher speed, the sound deadening is actually one of the best in class. Comfort to the seats is also very plush. It would be similar specs to vehicles that are $10,000, $15,000 in price if I'm considering the German rivals. And I say that not just because of the power seat adjustments, but because of the softness to it. Now it can firm up a bit because you have more power seat adjustments through the infotainment screen. The nice thing is you can still do it with the buttons here. So you don't have to do everything through the touch screen. But on a con, you may be looking off the screen to see exactly where you're moving if you're not used to it because it just stays stationed wherever it is. I do like that you can bolster the sides to make it more sporty, and it has cushion extensions because if you go into Acura and Infiniti, they're not going to even have that. And going for BMW and Mercedes and even Audi, they're going to be manual cushion extensions until you start paying over $60,000, in which this is fully loaded. So when you're considering the package that you're getting all blended in, it is a substantial amount of savings, but on a normal drive, this is kind of the way it's going to be. You can move in and out. It has the performance. To get it motivated, you will be hitting a little bit over 3 RPMs. And I would say on a daily use from light to light, you probably will be doing the same thing. But even when you're going into any variant that compares to it, it's gonna be the same because they're all turbo 4s. And if you go Infiniti, you're getting a CVT transmission. So that already kind of exits that vehicle because here, it's an 8-speed Geartronic automatic transmission. This is the thing that Volvo does excellent though. Very similar to Mercedes. When you stop, you didn't even know that the engine turned off. The only thing that I would have liked to see with the XC60 in Volvo itself is to increase towing capacity to a minimum of 5,000 and 6,000 pounds, because this is an SUV, which is a sport utility. And when you get these vehicles, you're usually wanting to use it. It's not a 50-50 weight distribution, but you can see, you can take bins for the day in and day out use, don't go crazy. Going into the recharge will add quite a bit of curb weight, in which that's why it's not a huge difference in your MPGs, but you will be getting the full electric range, which also helps when you're getting those quick 0 to 60s. I mean, 4.5 seconds is quick for a vehicle that starts under 60 grand. But let me know your thoughts in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank Crown Volvo Cars for giving us this 2024 Volvo XC60 B5 for our car review.